Hello fellow Genshin community, this is another video about Genshin Impact and I'm still a new content creator, so if there's any advice or suggestions, it will be greatly appreciated. Now that Albedo's banner is out for about 2 days, so I'm here to give a small summary of the ZhongLi incident and why things turned out the way they did. So first of all, why is ZhongLi weak? ZhongLi is weak largely because of this character here. Let me just find him. Here. Tartaglia, child. It's his fault why ZhongLi is weak. Now, what I believe is Child is Genshin's worst and most trash design character in the company's perspective, which is MiHoYo. So you should have all noticed, or if by now, if you pull him, he is strong, and he's too strong. Strong to the point where he's like the first power creep design. He have fast attacks, hydro damage scaling, all hydro damage, great DPS scaling, no energy, low energy cost. So you could basically say because of Child, you're probably never gonna have a official type of pyro support that give constant pyro aura. And you can also tell because of the new hydro set. This one here. So why is this the 4-piece set like this? Why is it like this? Why is it not similar to our old sets like the Electro one here? Where Electro increased damage caused by overload, Electro charge, superconduct by 40%, and then the Crimson Witch of Flames, which increased overloaded burning damage by 40%, vaporize and melt damage by 15%, and using elemental skill caused the first set bonus to double. Why is this set like this? Well, this set's like this because Tartaglia can't get any more damage. He's broken already, and if the set bonus is the same as the old set, he'll do even more damage than what he does now. Therefore, as long as Chao stay the way he is, you'll probably never have a good Hydro set for other Hydro mains that might be coming later. And because he exists, you'll probably never have a good Pyro Aura character. Because if they do, if MiHoYo release something like that, even a small mistake or a small miscalculation from MiHoYo's side, Tartaglia's DPS just gonna fly to the moon. That's what this character can do. And if power creep exists and MiHoYo nerf it, then everyone will complain. If you play League of Legends, you'll know what I talk about. Do you know how many times I just want to like strangle the league balance team? If nerfing starts to become a thing, people won't be willing to spend as much as they do now because they'll be afraid that something would be gutted. So that is why Child's Constellation worked the way it does. If you look at his Constellation, C1 lowers E cooldown, C2 give energy retard, C3, C5 don't matter, C4 give AoE. C6 is the most controversial one. It negates his C1. Now why do they design it like this? Because it's an emergency fix to put him behind a high paywall so that 99% of the Genshin community can't get it. And that is also why Child, who's a 5-star character, have nothing in his constellation from 0 to 6 to increase damage like the original main DPS. So if I could show you D-Luke. D-Luke's constellation. It gives damage, more damage, attack speed, 3 and 5 don't matter. Everything is give more damage. Maybe look at Kaching. Everything is damage and crit. If you look at Klee. Same thing, everything give damage. So MiHoYo on Child's case is only thinking about how to keep him from being overpowered and how to nerf him because he's too strong. So why is ZhongLi weak? Because MiHoYo can't allow this mistake to repeat twice. That is why ZhongLi's nerfed to the floor when he was released, and even his normal attack is gutted and lowered because he's a support DPS and a jack of all trades. If you look at his scaling, which I don't think I need to talk about this any more than everyone already did, that is the lowest scaling out of all the character currently in the game. He have the most sexy attack animation, which is a fact, with the lowest attack scaling lower than Amber. That's how low it is. So they released him weak so that people can bitch and moan, and then MiHoYo can buff him. After that, everyone will be happy just to see even a little improvement, and then they'll shower MiHoYo with praise. That's how market works, right? You create problem and you sell the solution. But if MiHoYo release ZhongLi too strong and they nerf him, then everyone will be at MiHoYo's door with torch and pitchforks. So now after all this, which I believe sounds pretty logical, why is this a problem and why is everyone so pissed about it? The 1%. Because of how this game works. Resource is limited. Everything is limited. Your character EXP card, resin, and Mora, especially Mora. We all know by now, no one have Mora. We all have no Mora. Free to play and low budget players, they skip Klee and they skip Child, the Pyro and Hydro main DPS, to pull for ZhongLi, who was hyped to be a Geo main DPS. He's hyped, he's hinted, he's lured to be a Geo main DPS. And even looking at his weapon and everything, he's designed to be a Geo main DPS. But they can't allow that. And why do they nerf it this much? Because MiHoYo pre-test everything. They test stuff for 1.3 and like 1.1, for example. Everything's already set. And removing something from a kit, it's much easier than changing the kit, which is why they took out the 20% physical reduction and the 20% geo damage from his ult, and then they're giving it to you back on 1.3, which is the upcoming trial and test. So there you go. Now the other reason is ZhongLi and Chao are the first character where their constellation doesn't just add more damage. ZhongLi and Chao's constellation give them extra kick. Now it turned out this way because there are whales who are not streamers and they want something special, which is understandable. You spend $800 and you get a character which is just a bit stronger than what the free to play or low budget player can get. Not fair to the whales, is it? It's bad for our case, but that is what it is. But people is angry at this because Child is fine at C0. C6 Child just makes him more convenient. C0 Child is still playable. He do what he is designed to do. And he only maybe do a little bit more damage at C6. He does damage, and that's fine. But C0 ZhongLi is very different from a C6 ZhongLi. That is the truth and it's the fact. And this make people even more upset because ZhongLi is an already weak character. And they did that to him. And looking at Ganyu's constellation, this trend is probably staying. So, not looking good, guys, at least for us. Now, I'm looking forward to the upcoming Geo buff that give all the Geo teams extra damage. Do I think it's enough with what they post currently? No, because their Viridescent set lowers reduction by 40% and Melt and Vaporize does 200% damage. Geo have none of that for a little bit of defense, which is not a very good trade-off. But even after all of this, if there are still people with ZhongLi and they tell me that C0 ZhongLi is fine, or people with C6 ZhongLi that tell me that ZhongLi is fine. The ease of play, the character that is designed for Abyss, the character that makes Abyss 12 easier, the icing on the cake. Well, us free to play and low budget players, we don't need icing on the cake. What we need is cold against the cold and wind. At least performance wise, make it a bit better than 4 stars, please. So if people still having trouble with Abyss, well, let me introduce to you a being that strikes fear into all the hearts of the mobs in Abyss 12. The savior of all the fellow travelers, the queen of Abyss, and what I personally believe, the goddess of Abyss 12. And it's her. She does everything for you. She shields. Her shield is super strong. Her shield is stronger than ZhongLi's shield. And I don't think I need to show you that because it's all over the YouTube. You could just go search it up. And she heals for you and she cleanses for you. Like, what's the problem? Use her. Why not? She's also in a standard banner now. And if you pull for Tartalia's patch, you should have her, or at least one copy of her. So thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on twitch.tv/UmiGamingZ. Have fun. Thank you.